in your mind, what are the differences between in-person and virtual for this type of thing? How do you see it from your experiences? Sort of a pluses and minuses, I guess, of sort of each type of scenario. Um, Tell me about that.
Yeah, so thinking we all know what in person is, right? You're in person, you're with them. And it's great because you are, like we talked about in the first video, typically you're waiting a little closer to trial and you're doing a lot of it's about the presentation style, right? Getting feedback on that, getting on your feet. Well, really, when you're looking at virtual though, one of the really cool things that you don't get in person is you get that face-to-face contact, right? You're delivering it and you can get close up of what everyone's reaction is versus you're not going to get that in person, right? You're not going to be able to see, if they're watching the video of what happened or they're watching the deposition, like you can get those really up close reactions that you couldn't get in person, right? Because the videographer can't, you can't zoom in on everybody's faces and that's one of the like kind of the larger differences as far as like in person versus virtual. And naturally, with virtual, we have to, and I think with both, you have to be engaging. You can't sit and deliver something for 30 minutes straight and expect people to pay attention virtually or in person, right? So you have to be a little bit more engaging and keep people engaged in what you're doing. And that's all thinking through presentation style, what you're presenting. But, obviously in person, you're going to take a day out of your office. You got to get a lot of help. You got to recruit. You got to pay a bunch of money to have people there. And when you do that, you're probably going to want to do a 6 hour. You're probably going to want to do 4 hours because you're taking a lot of time to prepare. So you
Right.
might as well use as what you got versus with virtual, it's much shorter. So it's a lot less prep time. There's no travel time, right? Getting from the benefit of turning on from our computers. I think also presentation style, being able to click a button and boom, there's your PowerPoint, right? There's no lag time. There's no, how do I figure out how to plug this into the which most places make it pretty easy with an HDMI cable, but I always say, hey, there, you don't just open that laptop, like click that button, it's going to be there for you. Um, and you're going to get a little bit different participants that are going to show up. I mean, that's just natural when you have in person versus when you have virtual. I think you're going to get what I've seen basically in the past 3 years, because 2020 we didn't do any. We've slowly brought back doing in person. Is I get a lot more responses for virtual than I do in person. And so, you know, you're going to have a little bit more variety to pick, which is great because then you can really sample size down. Okay, I want to get, we had a daycare case the other day. So it's like, I want to get a panel that has no kids. Like, great, let's get a panel of people who have kids, right? So just to kind of test to see, do I have to have a jury that has kids or not? And we were kind of shocked. The people without kids fought a lot harder for our for the kid than they did our people with kids. So it's there are definitely some differences, but I think as far as thinking about flexibility and the ability to do that targeted, okay, here I need to look at this. I need to test my timeline. I need to, okay, we made this, demonstrative. Let's see what they think about it. It's so easy to hop on, get it done in an hour, hop on and do 2 or 3 cases in 2 hours, right? So there's a lot of flexibility on getting that feedback very early and quickly versus if you do it in person, you're going to want it. It's a lot bigger investment. Sometimes for the same feedback, right? So that's kind of where I really push people to try it. Again, all the feedback that I've gotten is this is great. I love being able to, click from my office and join, watch a group of people just, dissect my case. And then I can go back and be like, okay, this gave me, 4 great points that I can work in to discovery, or I can work into my client's deposition.